So Virginia Giuffre, prominent Jeffrey Epstein abuse survivor, has died by suicide. But I'm going to say it right away, that I don't believe this was a suicide. I know that you don't believe it either. Let's say this the way that it is. You know the kind of stuff that we are dealing with, that we have been dealing with for a while. You remember? In case you don't remember, well, she was the one at the center of that controversy with Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Prince Andrew. On that picture that we have analyzed extensively on this show, and I found to be real. This actually happened, and yes, it was also part of that Prince Andrew interview that you remember how it went, because I also analyzed it in here. And also that Prince Andrew paid a settlement to end that sex assault case, which the amount was undisclosed. We never knew how much was that. But in regards of the event itself, it's like I woke up this morning and I saw that this could be, is this real? Well, this has been already confirmed by NBC News, The Independent, NPR, Sky News. This was, it's my understanding that this was confirmed by her family through her agent, her publicist. Virginia Giuffre, one of Jeffrey Epstein's most prominent abuse survivors, dies by suicide. What can I tell you? You want me to say this? You want me to say this? I'm going to say this. This absolutely looks and sounds like a killer special. I have no other way. We have been following this case for so long, and there has been so many dark angles to this. Virginia Giuffre, she was 41 years old. It was really a tragedy. Died in near Gabby, Australia, where she has been living for several years. Giuffre was one of the earliest and loudest voices calling for criminal charges against Epstein and his enablers. Other Epstein abuse survivors later credited her with giving them the courage to speak out. She also provided critical information to law enforcement that contributed to the investigation into and later the conviction of Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as other investigations by the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. And my question is, why is only Ghislaine Maxwell behind bars and nobody else? I'm going to make a point about that later in this video. Shadow of Ezra, Virginia Giuffre publicly declared that she was not suicidal and warned that if anything happens to her, the people should ensure those responsible are held accountable and never forget their actions. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. This was an update directly here. I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form I am suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. This is a really tragedy that needs to be investigated, but actually investigated, and not like the investigation that has been running for what? I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Mindy Robinson, after being suspiciously involved in a car crash that was never really explained, you remember that, right? That she said that she had 4 days to leave, and then we found out more details about that car crash that was so suspicious, involving a school bus that ran onto her car. Epstein's most damning accuser, Virginia Giuffre, has supposedly committed suicide because, she was the most prominent witness of whatever happened on those houses, mansions, the island, everything. I believe she deleted herself. She killed herself about as much as Epstein did. Yeah, we know that. Oh yeah, the camera malfunction. How convenient. And where the hell is that client list? Where are the Epstein files? Where are the actual the actual responsible for this. You might remember Bindergate, in which, there's a bunch of influencers were given binders of information that was like heavily redacted, was an understatement. Like everything was black bars. I made a joke back then. It had more black bars than Atlanta. So is this some kind of joke in our face that they are investigating the Epstein list and they are going through the Epstein list? And you remember that? Well, Pam Bondi, this was your time to shine, but we're growing impatient by the day. Attorney General Pam Bondi cares about victims of the judicial system when it fits the administration's agenda, like with 2 judges arrested this week. But there's still no update on Bindergate, no Epstein arrests, and no action on the corrupt family court system in California. So what is going on? How many interns do you need to go through the files and the tapes and everything? Because we know that there are files, there are emails, there are tapes, there are audio. With this era, with this have so much technology, we could use, those Dodge wizards, the geniuses that Elon Musk has hired. I'm pretty sure that they can just scan the whole thing and use AI to, detect things. Use AI to sort through all the Epstein files. The question is, why it hasn't been done yet? It's not that easy. Just scan the whole thing, digitize the whole thing, and use AI to sort through all that. There's the technology, there are the whiz kids, there's everything. Why hasn't it done it? Oh, yeah, of course, she said that. Pam Bondi said that at some point after saying that, yeah, the Epstein files are like sitting neatly on my desk. Remember when Pam Bondi was demanding answers from Attorney General Garland about the Epstein files? Now she's Attorney General. The list is on her desk. And suddenly, nothing. For how many days? How many days now? Maybe it's buried under all the hush money and NDA files. I mean, this is something outrageous, something that it was bound to happen at some point. Why has it taken so long? Oh, we have to protect our, for national security issues. So we have to protect our, the people that we had on the field. Precisely. The names and the code names and whatever of the people who was on the field, investigating the Epstein files, to just use AI to auto-redact their names, and then you can, it will be easier. But no, you haven't done that yet. And there's no prosecutions, no arrests, no nothing. I think that, sadly, the betting markets are not, let's say, confident or optimistic about this. Kalshi, this was 95 when Pam Bondi said the Epstein client list is sitting on my desk right now. It was the bets about will Trump declassify Epstein documents in his first 100 days? Well, it is pretty close to, I would say, like less than 10% odds. And right now, I would say that the odds are less than 5%. What is happening with that? There's zero reason for those files not have something. And that's why so many people are upset about this. Oh, that is great that you're giving power to the new media. That is great. That's great that you're giving a seat at the press room in the White House. Nice, but this is a slap in the face for all the victims and all the people who have been affected, damaged, and even killed over I have a Spanish word for this. All the sick swamp that is all the PDF files that we are dealing with. Again, I have to say this. I have to say this. Yeah, Pam, she said, the Epstein files are on my desk. Oh, Kash Patel, government gangster Epstein files on day one. We don't know which day one was, on which calendar or which year. And then, trust me, Ro Bongino, so many of you, cut them some slack, give them some time. I could say, all right, they must be obeying some kind of orders from above. Okay, we need to be careful with this. All right. But again, the same way, I think this is a kind of a catch-22 situation. The same way Dodge has used extensive use of technology to sort through all the spending in the government, USAID, the IRS, the Department of Treasury, everything, being able to crunch massive amounts of data with technology. How many Epstein files are we talking about? And how many of those are already or were already digitized? You have to digitize them again? Put an intern, or maybe you can put even a robot to digitize them. In a couple of days, it should be done. But no. This might be. I know. I'm going to get into trouble. I'm going to get into trouble eventually, but I don't care. Wall Street apes, so many coincidences, and I need to make a video about this. Jeffrey Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre, that just committed suicide, who said, "I was trafficked to Prince Andrew," had her case dismissed by the same judge who ruled Donald Trump was guilty of the abuse on E. Jean Carroll. What are the odds? Yeah, you tell me, what are the odds? Judge Lewis Kaplan ruled that Donald Trump was guilty of abusing E. Jean Carroll. The same judge dismissed Prince Andrew's case when he was accused of raping underage girl Virginia Giuffre on Jeffrey Epstein Island. This judge formally dismissed all sexual abuse charges with a nice sealed settlement and no prison time, and now she's dead by suicide after recovering from a car accident. We know that the car accident was really suspicious, was strange situation. But again, what are the odds? I need some coffee. I just woke up and saw this, and they say, what the F is this? I mean, no, really, what are we dealing with on this? This is one of those cases in which you say, regardless of what is your stance or what is your opinion on the Trump administration, there's no way that you can justify that they have taken so long over this. And the reason that I said I'm going to get into trouble is that we already know. You gotta say that they are rumors. You can say that there's allegedly. These people do not. We know that these people are not going to sue you if you say something wrong. No, they are going to go full killery on you. I'm going to say it anyway. It's like you understand that what is implied in all this Jeffrey Epstein ring. We have the deep state, not only of the United States, but other countries, enmesh in this in a way that the enmeshing doesn't allow to, we are going to get into real trouble if this is found out. If they really found out of all the stuff that real people from, both the United States and other countries are involved. And you remember that Bill Gates, in those first, previous days before, I think it was before Trump assumed office, he paid a visit to Donald Trump and spoke to him for 2 hours and then was getting out of the White House smiling. You know that Bill Gates is another of those. We have made a lot of videos about him, but again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Remember to download my free body language tips right in the description of this video. Much love and bliss.